Hi there, sports fans. This is Play It Right TV and I'm Quinito Henson. Special edition po ito ng Play It Right TV and we're gonna talk about the hottest topics in basketball today. Firstly, yung Game 1 ng PBA Philippine Cup Finals between San Miguel Beer and TNT. Nangyari po yung kagabi sa Smart Araneta Coliseum. Ultimate closer, pinag-uusapan pa ng tao. Ano ba? Counted ba yung shot ni Jayson Castro dapat o hindi? So we'll talk about that. And the second topic is yung Gilas 13-man lineup. Only 12 will play against Lebanon. That will be on August 26, 2 a.m. ng umaga po yan, Manila time. At yan po yung mapapanood po natin ng live sa Signal TV. But well, before we talk about Gilas, let's go back to yung pinag-usapan natin kanina, what I just mentioned, Jayson Castro's buzzer-beating jumper that won the game for TNT 86-84. Panoorin po natin ang video to show you the slow-mo replay of exactly what happened. Here's Jayson Castro taking off for the shot. Wala pang ilaw yung backboard. And we all know that kung umiilaw na yung backboard, yun, umilaw na. And that means wala nang oras. Now, did he get it off on time? Very close call. Kanya po, I'm not here to say that it should be counted or it should not be counted. I'm just here to say that it was really such a close call. Panurin ulit natin. Watch. Was the ball still in his hands? Was it in his fingertips when he released the ball? Yun, mukhang na-release na niya yung bola tapos imilaw. And that is the video. Super slow-mo kung ano nangyari. So, guys, you decide. Should it have been counted? Should it have not been counted? Should the game have gone to overtime? Now, here are two pictures, again showing the shot. On the left picture, you will see that the ball is still in the fingertips of Jayson. Pero yung orasan, yung shot clock nakalagay 0.0, which means wala ng oras. Pero hindi pa nakailaw yung backboard. If you look at the right picture, you will see that the ball has left Jayson Castro's hands. Dun lang umilaw. So very clear on the right picture that he released before the light went on. But on the left picture, it showed that based on a shot clock, nasa kanya pa yung bola. So I'm just happy that I'm not part of the PBA Technical Committee, nor I'm the referee. I'm not in the best position to judge whether that should have been counted or not. Pero nakita natin yung video, nakita natin yung pictures. I have 3 more pictures that I want to show you outside of this. This is frame by frame showing Jayson Castro elevating for the shot. Wala pang ilaw yung backboard. Second frame shows him still elevating. And then the third frame, na-release na niya yung bola, tapos umilaw. Yung ilaw will only happen a split second dyan, no? Hindi naman nagtatagal yung ilaw. So, it's really very difficult. That I feel is the ultimate closer ng Game 1. Certainly made it very exciting, but very controversial because maraming nga nagsasabi, dapat yun, nag-overtime na lang kung hindi sigurado. Yung San Miguel Beer naman, hindi nagprotesta, but they did ask for a explanation from the PBA Deputy Commissioner Eric Castro and also ask for a video to be able to ask or to be able to say kung ano talaga nangyari. Ito ngayon ang sagot ni PBA Deputy Commissioner Eric Castro. Let me read it. The technical committee did a frame-by-frame slow-motion review of the different video angles provided by TV5. This is the only official means of determining such a situation. It has also been a PBA guideline that when the backboard is equipped with red lighting around its perimeter, the lighting takes precedence over the game clock signal sound. We did not base a review on a still picture. Ang sinasabi po ni Deputy Commissioner Castro is that they will not base their decision on any pictures. Kanya po, yung mga pictures na pinakita natin, hindi po basis yan. Ang basis nila is yung replay na binibigay ng TV5 frame by frame. Nire-review po nila yan. He also says here that kung sakasakali nagkaroon ng synchronization between the shot clock and the lighting mechanism, they will go by the lighting mechanism because ang explanation ni Eric Castro is that yung pong shot clock kasi is subject to human error. So, well, I don't know if he means that yung lighting mechanism is not subject to human error. Hindi ko po alam. Yan po ang explanation ni Deputy Commissioner Eric Castro. And, this is the PBA's position. And we agree, we may disagree. Bahala po kayo, no? It's your judgment. As far as I'm concerned, I'm a commentator, I'm an analyst, I try to explain kung anong sinasabi ng PBA, tapos kayo na po maghusga if you feel that it was correct or not. Ako naman, yan ang position ng PBA. Hindi na po natin mababago yung resulta. Ganun na yun. It's irreversible. It was a judgment that has been rendered. So, move na tayo sa game 2. Hindi naman nagprotesta ang San Miguel. Humingi lang sila ng explanation. Nagbigay naman ng explanation si Deputy Commissioner Eric Castro. Pangalawang issue, 1.6 seconds sa shot clock. Was there enough time for Jayson Castro to dribble twice and take off for a jump shot within 1.6 seconds? Ito naman po ang sinabi ni Deputy Commissioner Castro. Regarding the 1.6 second game clock, to illustrate the case in point more clearly, Rule number 5, Section 10C from the PBA rulebook states, if play is resumed by a throw-in from out of bounds, the clock shall be started when the ball is legally touched by any player within the playing area of the court. Though a human pressing delay factor may come into question, we find no discrepancy on how the 1.6 game clock ran. Yan po sinabi ni Commissioner Eric Castro. So, in his decision, Mr. Castro is saying that within 1.6 seconds, nangyari po lahat yun. Nag-dribble twice, nag-elevate for a jump shot, pumasok po yung tira, and he feels that within 1.6 seconds, nangyari yun. Question, was the shot clock activated when it should have been activated? Dapat yun, pagkahawak ng bola ni Jayson Castro, tumatakbo na ang oras. But because, it's just a human, it's a person who clicks that shot clock to start, could he have started it late to allow Jayson Castro a little bit more than 1.6 seconds to dribble twice and elevate for a jump shot? That could be a human error. It's very possible that ganun nga nangyari. But just the same, we have to take it for what it is. The decision has been made. And according to Mr. Castro, he found no discrepancy on how the 1.6 game clock ran. So, yan po kanyang decision. Whether we agree or not, whether San Miguel agrees or not, ganun na po yan. Yan ang decision. Let's just hope that we all learn from this experience and we become better for it. One thing for sure is that Game 1 was an absolute thriller. And I was very honored that I was part of the telecast of that game, of the commentary panel. I'd also like to say that that game was actually decided really by TNT's defense. And the reason why I say this is maybe we can go back to the pictures of Jayson Castro's shot. Anyway, nabasa na natin yung kay Eric Castro. Yan. I just want to be able to say that yung San Miguel Beer, before game number 1, led the league in scoring. Their average was 101.8 points. The only team to average more than 100 points sa conference natin. But ang TNT naman, they were number 3 in defense and they were giving up only 88.9 points. So, feeling ko, if TNT is able to hold San Miguel to less than 90 points, malamang sila mananalo. Because that means low scoring, defense-oriented. Yan ang tema ng laro ng TNT. I think that's what happened because in the third quarter, remember in the first half, San Miguel was up by 12. But in the third quarter, nagkaroon ng malaking turnaround. 33 points ang na-score ng TNT in the third quarter against 15 by San Miguel Beer. The big reason was defense. And the stats showed it. 8 turnovers by San Miguel in the third quarter against only 1 for TNT. And of course, the weapon of choice ng TNT is a 3-point shot. They finished with 11 3-pointers in the game. And San Miguel shot only 5. So that means a 6 3-point differential. That translates to 18 points. And that's major. TNT missed 12 free throws. Pero okay lang because they were able to outscore San Miguel by 6 triples or 18 points. So those are the statistics that we should keep in mind in how the game flowed. But if you were to ask me personally, How I felt about the game? Actually, I would have liked to see an overtime. Yes, of course, because you want to settle this decisively. But at the same time, nagkaroon na ng decision ng PBA. We accept it. We accept it. Looking at the replay, I'm looking at that third picture. You see in this frame. Wala na sa kamay ni Jayson Castro yung bola nung umilaw eh. But at the same time, we saw in another picture, 0-0-0-0 na yung shot clock when the ball was still in the fingertips of Jayson. So could have gone either way. But the decision was made and the PBA decided shot counted. TNT wins game number 1. I can't wait for game number 2. So yan po ang hot topic natin. And the second topic that I'd like to discuss is the Gilas 13-man lineup. And this is certainly something that has captivated the imagination of many of our basketball fans. Naawa din ako sa SBP because I don't think they deserve all that bashing. Instead of, sabi nga ni Carl Tamayo, no, iwas tayo sa hate. Bigyan na lang natin suporta. Things have happened. People have made mistakes. We're all human. Mag-apologize na lang tayo sa isa't isa. And let's try to do what we can for our country, the best that we can do. In this coaching staff, si Coach Shotres is going to be assisted by Tim Cone at si John Wichico. From the practices of Gilas, I have not been able to watch any of the practices, but I understand that Coach Tim has installed a very strict defensive system that will guide this team in the big game against Lebanon. Again, sabihin natin, no, and this is not making any excuses, let's state the facts. Let's state the reality. Number 1, lalabanan ng Gilas ang Lebanon sa Beirut, hometown ng Lebanon. Number 2, malamang hindi magpapatalo ang Lebanon. And this is a very strong team. They were runner-up in the FIBA Asia Cup, and they lost in the final to Australia by only 2 points. They've got a 6'10" import, Jonathan Arledge, who is super long. He's got very good instincts as far as being a shot blocker is concerned. He can also deliver points. He scored 19 points against the Philippines when Lebanon beat Gilas in the FIBA Asia Cup by 15. And then they've got Arakchi, Wael Arakchi, a 6'4" guard who is just a magnificent player. And he scored 20 points against the Philippines. But the man I'm really fearful of is Ali Haidar, who's 6'9". Hindi po siya naglaro against Gilas in the FIBA Asia Cup because he was down for health and safety protocols. And he missed, in fact, 3 games. But he came back in the playoffs. And in that game against Australia in the final, where Jordan lost by 2 points, Haidar scored 23 points. So I think this guy, a big guy, a power guy, he will be a handful for the Philippines. How will be able to cope against Lebanon on the road, in Lebanon? And that's going to be a tall order. And it'll be a big challenge. But ito po ang lineup ng ating national team. 13 players have been named. 12 will play in the game against Lebanon. So 1 will not play. Of course, in the Saudi Arabia game on August 29 sa Mall of Asia Arena, pwede po magbago, no, yung ating 12-man lineup. So in other words, yung pong hindi makakalaro against Lebanon, baka maglaro yan against Saudi Arabia and somebody else would take his place on the bench. But this lineup has 5 players from the PBA, 5 players from the Japanese B-League, 1 player from the NBA, si Jordan Clarkson, 1 player from the National Basketball League of Australia, si Kai Soto, 1 player from the UAAP, si Carl Tamayo. So, I think it's a good mix. Sabi nga ni SBP Executive Director Sunny Barrios, he feels it's the best mix. It may not be the most talented players, but sabi niya, he feels it could be or it will be the best possible team we can get depending on the availability of players. Now, you might be wondering, ba't naman yung PBA supposed to be all-out support sa Gilas? Ba't hindi nila pilalaro si Junmar Fajardo? Wala din si CJ Perez, wala si Poy Eram, wala si RR Pogoy. Well, kasunduan po ng SBP at PBA while this was going on because there have been many changes that have been made because of the pandemic. Schedules had to be synchronized and resynchronized. Schedules had to be adjusted. So po, ang kasunduan nila is because the PBA Second Conference is going to start in September 21, dapat siguro matapos na yung PBA kaagad so that magkaroon ng a little bit of lead time before we start the second conference, where there will be a guest team play, yung Bay Area Dragons. Tapos mag-uumpisa na din yung ESL on October 12. So, ang daming mga commitments. So, ang ginawa nila is that yung pong players who are playing in the finals of the PBA, hindi po makakasali dito. And that's the reason why the San Miguel players at saka yung TNT players, wala rito. Si Coach Chot Reyes nga will not coach in games 2 and 3 of the finals so that he can be with Gilas. But be that as it may, I think it's a solid lineup. We've got good size with Kai Soto. Japet Aguilar is going to be there. Carl Tamayo was defending bigs in the FIBA Asia Cup, and he will be here either as 3 or 4. Jamie Malonzo also can give us good size. He is a player who can play 3 and 4 as well. Jordan Clarkson can play all positions. He can even play center if he wants to. As far as point guard is concerned, Scotty Thompson is there. He can bring up the ball. Nandiyan din si Kiefer. Jordan Clarkson can also be a point guard. But yung sinabi sa akin rather, Executive Director Sonny Barrios is that this team will play fast. It's going to be a fast-paced team. Hindi magtatagal yung bola sa mga kamay ng any one player. And I hope that happens because FIBA Asia Cup, nakita ko, no, nagtagal yung bola sa mga player natin. Hindi tayo nakakagalaw ng maigi. I hope that changes. I hope there's good ball movement. I hope there's a lot of motion in our offense. But more importantly, yung ating depensa has to be on point. And we're hoping that with Kai Soto being our shot blocker, intimidator, and rim protector, he can give us that strength inside. We've also got good wing players. Dwight Ramos, hindi po siya naglaro sa FIBA Asia Cup. He is back. Nakausap ko, he's ready to play 100%. Ray Parks, he's also ready. I think Chris Newsom is a new addition. He has been cleared by FIBA to play as a local, and we embrace him for answering the call of our country. And of course, the Ravenna brothers are there. Roosevelt Adams gives us also size at the wing position. See, Jordan Heading was also supposed to be in the pool. But since he just transferred from Taiwan to Japan, yung pong bagong team niya sa Japan asked kung pwede. He stays longer with the Japanese team in training because bago pa siya. No? So I think Jordan Heading really wanted to play for Gilas. But we'll have to wait for maybe the next possible windows to welcome si Jordan Heading. Calvin Oftana, I think, will be a terrific addition. No? He's played for Gilas before. Pero masyadong versatile si Calvin, no? And a very heady player, may 3-point shooting. He can play 3, he can play 4. And, I think that's going to be good. Here's a question from Jermaine Dison. With the absence of June Marco Chot, should tap Greg Slaughter instead? We still lack height. Well, Greg Slaughter was actually invited for the FIBA Asia Cup, but he begged off because he had just come to terms with his Japanese B League. See, Greg, I think, was making himself available for the Southeast Asian Games, and I would certainly have liked to see Greg Slaughter in this lineup, and I'm sure the coaching staff also would have liked him. But he has priorities now in the Japanese B League because, like Jordan Heading, bago din siya. So I think the Japanese team wanted to make sure that he's in the groove, no, of their season. So sayang, because I really think Greg Slaughter would give us more height. But with Kai Soto and Japet Aguilar, we're hoping that we'll be strong sa inside game natin. No? Again, what I'm asking of the fans is wag na natin i-bash, wag na natin i-hate. Pati ako napasama din, napadamay ako. All I'm doing is just commenting. But, just the same, we're all here for our country. We're all on the same side. Wag tayo mag-away-away. We're hoping that we get everyone together in support of Gilas. I think our coaching staff has committed that they're out to win. Hindi sila magpapatalo. Kung matalo man, it's not because of lack of effort. They are going all out to win. And that's the reason why Jordan Clarkson and Kai Soto are in town. And, we're hoping for the best. Whatever happens in Lebanon, well, we're hoping that we are able to prepare well for 2023 FIBA World Cup. All of this is in preparation for the big World Cup. No? From Matic Z, sino kayang point guard ang maset ng laro dyan pag nakasabay si Clarkson at Soto sa loob? Well, nabagit ko kanina, no? Si Scotty Thompson pwede mag-point guard. Si Jordan Clarkson pwede rin mag-point guard. No? Chris Newsom as well. Nandiyan din si Kiefer Ravenna. All those guys are very capable point guards who can also play the two position. I think even in On occasion, si Jamie Balonzo pwede din magdala ng bola. So we've got a lot of versatility in this lineup. We've got a lot of talent. And Coach Tim in particular, sabi ni Coach Tim that he'd like this team to be very conscious of defense. And sabi ni Tim, he'd like talent, he'd like experience in this team. From Jermaine Dison, Sir si Japet 100% injury-free. He tested positive for COVID. And so wala naman siyang injury, no? But it just takes a few days for him to recover. And once he tested negative, he reported to training camp. So he's good to go. And mamaya po, aalis na ang ating Gilas team. They will be at the airport at 10 o'clock. Ang flight nila will be 12:15 after midnight. And then they will be flying to Beirut, Lebanon for the big game. So yeah, that's about the situation of Gilas. And I also wanted to say that um, I've also been critical of SBP, as many of us are, no, because we only want the best for our country. And I'm critical of Gilas because of the lack of forward planning. And I'm hoping that this will change because nagkaroon ng SBP meeting no August 1st, getting everybody united, all the stakeholders. Because my question is, pakatapos itong fourth window, ano po mangyayari sa ating fifth window? That'll be in November. Wala na si Kai, wala na si Jordan Clarkson, walang PBA players, walang UAP players because the seasons will be ongoing. So sinong player natin? Sino madadala natin for the windows? Remember, in the coming window in November, there will be 2 away games. Jordan makakalaban natin at Saudi Arabia. So medyo mahirap-hirap yon. And then in the sixth window in February of next year, well, the UAP players will already be free, pero yung PBA nandun pa rin. And not unless, no, check that, no, not unless baka matapos na yung first conference of the new season, matatapos ng January, tapos yung second conference mag-o-open ng February. Baka there might be a window that will be open for the February window because we will have 2 home games. One will be against Lebanon, makakalaban natin, and the other one will be against Jordan, and that will be in February. But before we go, I just want to echo something that Coach Tim Cone said on Play It Right TV. And this, I think, is a very, very solid suggestion for the future. Sabi niya, there will always be conflicts of schedule. Ganon din sa NBA, ganon din sa Australian League. Kanya, paiba-iba din yung composition ng kanilang lineup for the national team. And Coach Tim's suggestion is very, very simple. And sabi niya, it doesn't take a smart guy to think about it. Ang sabi niya, why doesn't SBP and the PBA agree on a 15-man pool? 15 players from the PBA, maybe 1 or 2 from the UAP. Get them to practice every Monday, even while their seasons are going on, even while the PBA season is going on. Basta every Monday nagpa-practice sila. So that at any time magkaroon ng FIBA window, FIBA competition, yun ang paradala natin, meron ng instant chemistry. Magdadagdag na lang tayo ng naturalized import, or maybe we can bring in Kai, we can bring in Jordan Clarkson, pero yung core nando na. So hindi na sila magkakaroon ng defamiliarization. They're already familiar with each other. That will get rid of the so-called pickup system that we don't want to happen. So maganda sana yun, no? We can have that kind of a system where even if the PBA season is going on, basta Monday is reserved for the pool to practice. There is another suggestion that maybe the PBA should bend a little backwards and adopt a few more FIBA rules. In particular, number 1, players calling timeout. Sa FIBA kasi wala yun eh. Sa PBA tsaka NBA meron. You can call timeout at any time. And instinctively, because of muscle memory, if you're in a FIBA game and if you're hemmed in, if you're trapped, or you cannot inbound the ball within 5 seconds, your instinct is to call a timeout. Hindi pa pwede yan sa FIBA. Players cannot call a timeout. So maybe in the PBA, we can adopt that rule as a big step in getting our players more familiar with the FIBA rules. I think we can keep the 12-minute quarters. We can keep the time, the team foul limits. Pwede na siguro yun. But also the interpretation of the illegal screen or the moving pick. Iba kasi sa PBA, iba sa NBA, iba rin sa FIBA. Maybe we should adapt more to FIBA rules. So, well, anyway, that's my take on Gilas Pilipinas. I'm just hoping that you guys out there support our basketball authorities and stakeholders, they're doing their best. The president of the SBP, Al Panlillo, is a man of integrity. This guy's not a liar. He's not going to make up stories. He's not a politician. He's a professional. He's a business executive. He's he's the president and CEO of PLDT. This guy I respect so highly, and let's give him the support that he deserves. Ganun din ang ating Gilas Pilipinas Final 13. No? And I'm just hoping that everything works out well. If in case we lose in Lebanon, let's just go down fighting. Wag sana tayo tambakan. Let's just be competitive. Let's go out there to win. And we're doing this for our country. And we're just hoping that the entire nation backs up this team. They're doing their best. They want to make sure that we're totally prepared for when we host the 2023 FIBA World Cup. Here's another comment. Sir, good evening. May live pa ba sa Free TV ang laban sa Lebanon? Yes, there will be a live TV coverage. It will be at 2 a.m. And check out your TV listings. This will be on Signal TV. And I'm sure you're going to be all very excited because matindi itong Lebanon. Remember, second place sila sa FIBA Asia Cup. They've got a 6'10 naturalized player. They've got Arakchi and Ali Haidar and so many other good players in their roster. So they're going to be prepared to defend their home court against us. We're the challengers. We're coming in from outside, and we're bringing in Clarkson and Soto. So they will be well prepared to defend their home court. Here's another comment from Jack. Real Music, we support you, Sir Dean. Question po is, Kobe Paras is invited or hindi po available? Thanks for this. Kobe Paras has been given a contract in Japan, so he will continue to play in Japan. Hindi po siya na-imbita sa pool. I don't know about the availability. There were over 20 players who showed up for the practices that Gilas set up for this window. But we're hoping that everybody gets a chance to play for the country because this is very important. Pero sang-ayon din ako sa sinasabi ni Coach Tim. I think for these high level or senior level competitions, we need our best players. I'll tell you something else that maybe is food for thought. Nakausap ko yung Australian national coach Brian Gurjan, who's now coaching the Bay Area Dragons ng ESL. At pero siya sa akin sinabi that, caught me with my pants down. Ang sabi niya, he has been following the national team of the Philippines play FIBA Asia Cup and many other competitions ng FIBA. But since he's here, ang Bay Area Dragons kasi they are billeted at Shangri-La the Fort in BGC, and they've been here since August 1st. They will be staying in Manila, playing their home games dito. They'll be staying here for about 243 days. So they'll be like, Manila will be like their home base. Ang sabi niya sa akin, he was shocked at the level of talent, the level of physicality, and the level of experienced players that he saw when he was watching the Final Four of the PBA Philippine Cup. At tanong niya sa akin, why are these players not playing for the national team? They're super good. Sabi niya, nagulat siya. Kasi, physical ang laro, ang galing ng mga player natin sa PBA. So, nagtataka siya kung bakit hindi ka naglalaro yung mga player sa PBA dun sa national team. And sabi ko, it's been a long time of trying to get everything synchronized and organized and combined and working together. But I said with Mr. Panlillo's leadership, and of course, the meeting on August 1st, getting the stakeholders to commit to united Philippine basketball, I think things will look brighter now. And I'm certainly hoping so. But at the same time, yung pong mga nakita niya dun sa Final Four ng PBA, marami din kasi mga field foreigners, hindi po qualified to play for FIBA unless they're naturalized players. So that's another thing that we need to work on. Chris Newsom has been recognized as a local, but we have to work on Stanley Pringle, Christian Sanhardiger, and many others down the line. From Ralph, good evening, Sir Dean. Will there be friendly games in preparation for the World Cup next year? Yes, there definitely will be friendly games, but I'm not sure if they will be held here. Because starting in May, the PBA will have a 3-month break to give the Gilas maximum time to prepare for the FIBA World Cup. And my understanding is they will be setting up camp in the US. I think they might be also setting up camp somewhere in Europe. But they're going to come well prepared because ano mo, kahiyaan na to eh. It's not just being prepared to host the World Cup to the best of our ability, but it's also to play our national team to the best of its ability. And if we can do that, then we would have won the race. Again, from Jermaine Dizon, maraming salamat for your comment. Sir, dapat ang mga handled ng PBA is outside of the PBA para wala lang masyadong issue sa hiraman ng players from rival company only just in case Alpalino resign. I'm nothing against Sir Al. Yes, yes. Good suggestion, no, that we need to have a dedicated pool of players. Pero ang sabi nga ni Coach Tim, and I completely agree with him, you want the national team to be represented by your best players. And the best players are in the PBA. So we want those players to play for the national team. Maganda rin yung sinabi ni Coach Tim because as I explained kanina, just get a group of 15 guys. Have them train every Monday kasi hindi naman naglalaro ang PBA pag Monday. So, pag off-season, Monday, report sa gym. Pag season, they're playing for different teams. Basta Monday, nagre-report sila. So, palagi silang nagkikita-kita. At yung sistema na dapat nilang gawin once they play for the national team, they're very familiar. They're familiar with the coaches as well. So, I think that will happen. I'm certainly hoping. I'm pushing for it. The other things that na meron shortcomings din ang SBP is yung lack of a naturalized talent pool. Nung nawala si Ange Kwame when he was injured, wala na tayong backup. Ano ba yan? We're the SBP. We need to have a backup. But they're working on that now. They're putting together a pool of naturalized players, hoping that we get approval from Congress and the Senate so we can get that done. And one candidate is Cameron Oliver, yung import ng TNT. Another candidate is Justin Brownlee. Remember, there was a bill filed for his naturalization back in 2018. Hindi lang nangyari because nagkaroon ng pandemic. They were asking for more documents. He couldn't come to the Philippines because of the pandemic. But now that he's going to be playing again in the PBA, especially now in the second conference, he'll be here, and I think he's going to be listed in the pool of naturalized players. Maybe we need another one, and Ange Kwame will always be there as well. So things are moving. It's been tough because of all of these conflict of schedules. But now we're realizing that because of the World Cup, we need to be united. We need to be together. But my big question is, after the World Cup, wag naman sana we go back to the old system. So now that we're doing these things for the World Cup, let's continue to do that beyond the World Cup so that we'll always be ready to compete for our country to the best of our ability. What happened to Chris McCullough? I'm not sure if he's in condition. He suffered an ACL injury while playing in Taiwan last March, so he's not even sure of being able to play in the coming competitions of the PBA. So he has been asking, in fact, to be naturalized, but I haven't seen his name in the pool of candidates. But he would certainly be a good addition. From Marik Marquez, is Mikey Williams eligible to play as a local? If not, bakit po? Unfortunately, si Mikey Williams, just like Christian Sanhardiger and Stanley Pringle, are not eligible to play as locals. They're considered naturalized players by FIBA. And it's because they got their Filipino citizens, or rather passports, after 16. But FIBA does have what they call an immersion clause. It's an exception to the rule, where if a player plays and stays in a country for a long period of time, maybe 6 years, baka pwede rin yun, then he can be recognized as a local because he has contributed to the development of the sport, he has contributed to the promotion of the sport, and he has lived in the country. So they're looking at that because of the immersion factor. So in time, baka makalaro na din sina Mikey, sina Christian, sina Stanley, and the other Phil foreigners. I see this happening because Greg Slaughter was already an exemption for the immersion clause because he was born in the US at wala naman Filipino lineage si Greg Slaughter. But the fact that he studied here and he played many years in the PBA gave him that exception. Ganon din si Chris Newsome. He also studied here and he has played and lived in the Philippines for many years. Okay, so is Clarkson considered a naturalized player? Yes, he is because he doesn't live here, he doesn't play here. So ang feeling ng FIBA is that although he has Filipino lineage, he got his passport after 16. So he can only be considered to play for the Philippines as a naturalized player. And that is his role. He will be a naturalized player. Yung pong pool of naturalized players, yung po gagamitin kung hindi po makakalaro si Clarkson. As I said, no, Clarkson will not be available for the next two windows, no, outside of the fourth, the fifth and the sixth. Pati sa Southeast Asian Games in May, hindi pa din makakalaro si Clarkson. So we will need a naturalized player for all those competitions. Okay, so I think I've overstayed. I just wanted to express some of my thoughts about the hot issues of the day in basketball, and I hope you enjoyed. And thank you for the comments. And again, I wish to say that if because of my comments and because of my analysis, I might have hurt some people, I wish to apologize. I have no I have no dislike, and I'm not here to put anyone down. That's not my style. And this controversy about the PBA recognizing that shot, I'm also saying that I'm not putting the PBA down. I believe in the PBA. I believe in the integrity of the league, and they have made the decision, so we accept it and we move on. And the bottom line is, let's enjoy this game. I think the PBA finals would be super, and the game one puts us in the right direction. I think it's going to be amazing. And join us. I'll be covering game 3 at the Mo Arena. And all you guys who come out to watch the games, as I've always been, I'm always accessible for all of you guys. You come to me, and then we can talk basketball, we can take pictures, and I enjoy that because interaction for me is very important, and engagement with the fans. Wag lang sana mag-insultuhan at wag magbastusan, and if we can have constructive criticism and good engagement and positive relations, I'm all for that. I'm really all for that, because in the end, we're here to enjoy the game that we all love. So mabuhay Pilipinas. Maraming salamat. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Play It Right TV, special edition po ito. Quinito Henson, thank you very much.